Yo, 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 what's poppin', everybody? Welcome to the 101st edition of the PODICAST, coming at you straight from the local corner Multimedia YouTube page, as we do every single Wednesday at 3 p.m. right here on these YouTube streets. My name is SCAR, I'm your host, and yeah, man, we're coming at you from a different location. We're at the Molapo Crossing Theater, okay? If you know Molapo Crossing, there's a piazza on the other side next to the Safanana shop, and there's also a theater right behind it. You can do your press conferences, you can do your small festivals, you can do your listening sessions. There's an audience spot as well. There's lights, there's sound. Just hit up the Molapo Crossing Center Management, and they will hook you up, okay? As they've hooked us up right now, man. We're moving all over. I don't want out somewhere next time. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And today, there's an interview we've been trying to get together for a very, very long time, because every single time we have musicians on here, it's always, hey, we're fragmented. Hey, we don't work together. What. But there is an organization. There is a union for Botswana musicians, okay? And we want to be posing some of these questions to them and the leadership, or the suspended leadership for the time being. This man started out as a drummer. He joined local outfits like Maranyane Band and Ramotswa. He was also later taken to the Botswana Defense Force Band in 2003. He dropped his album Matata. As a Mogoditsani kid, I saw Fresh Less on every single poster out there, okay? So yeah, these were the guys who were doing that thing and making money out of this music stuff before it became cool to become a musician in BW. Guys were doing the hard work. But then later on, he moved on to the Botswana Musicians Union in around 2020, where he served as the Botswana Musicians Union president and championing local artists' rights and trying to improve royalties, advocating for things like increased local airplay. As you can see right now, man, every 3 months, some things to say, more accounting, so things are moving. But we're here with the brother to find out more about him and also what's been going down at Bomu regarding the Botswana Music Union's awards as well. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, give it up for Fresh Less, aka Mr. Fresh Lesokwane. What's up, big homie?
Good day.
Everything. Hey, it's good to see you. First of all, you're pretty busy, and you I've been trying to get a hold of you. What have you been up to of recent? Like, what are you up to?
For a lot of times,
Yes,
busy here. Like,
Yes,
I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
A businessman. I do a lot of businesses. So we kind of engaged somewhere. You see, like,
Yeah.
I'm here today. I was supposed to be leaving for Maun yesterday. Then I said, hey, let me just do it. Come and do it today, because Sky has been fighting with me for the longest time.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I'm really, really appreciative of it. And it's always important to talk to people who are actually in positions of power when it comes to something saying, we do so, and at the same time, a business in BW, because a lot of us are seeing but Bomu does exist, and it's right there to try and put us together. I want to start it off before we get into Bomu, though, about how you got into music, because Lesokwane is a famous name within the music fraternity. Is Franco your brother?
Franco is my cousin.
Okay.
Yes, he's my cousin. Rebalete mmogo ba agile kwa Gabane ke tswa Ramotswa.
Okay.
Yes. So a lot of people ba nna ba le confused thata gore ke motho wa Gabane, but no, ha ke motho wa Gabane, ke re tsholwa kwa Ramotswa.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
ke gone go eleng gore re tlhaga teng, then ke goletse mo Tlokweng.
Okay.
Ke gone go eleng gore ke goletse teng, but like you were saying, halaka music, it started long back.
Yeah.
Long back, I think, in the 90s. Ke sampekele ko primary school. Ha ke gola ko Habo Lady. Ne gona le a disco. Ko Utse.
Okay.
Yeah, Utse.
Yeah.
Utso wa lo batso ka wa Hamalete.
Er.
Ne gona le disco e bidiwa the Rockets. This disco ne le ya ga Oliver Groth.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, big what's a Okay.
Yeah, while I was still in primary. So most of the time, kola pene o itala ele gore ke shebininyana go rekisiwa. So malome was a DJ in mo disco nyeyo.
Okay.
So I learned how to to be a disc jockey.
Okay.
Then nako ya go sampe go wa enwa di cassette ne ke wa enela malome di cassette
Yes, sir.
ga tswana ke nna ke salang ke dira se ke se dirang wa tshwara.
Definitely.
So I got interested into music because of that. Then ga be go nna le band engwe ene e bereka go tla go letsa kwa lapeng.
Okay.
Mostly on Saturdays or Fridays. So ne re ga batlo go tse di instrument tsa bone yana le nna ke sala ke iteka ke toucha meropanyana hale le hale. Then I got to learn through that. And then I was discovered by Romungwe Bidwa Mswalo Oko Francis Town yana. I joined his band Maranyane. That was I was doing Form 1 by then.
Jesus.
Form 1, yes.
Because it was in the house. So this was like something you were always going to do.
Then I was discovered by Mswalo gore ke na le talent ka na drama ra mo Maranyane. So Malome was playing for another band. He's a musician too.
Okay.
He was playing for another band ibidwa so Buffalo sia kwa Ramotso. Then they hella bona gore no ankutswe mo Solos, Mr. Kwambala. Ke go join Soul Buffalo. So I joined Soul Buffaloes also as a drama. Ke berekile bo the late Joe Bole, bo Bramonti alo. I think you know Bramonti.
Millennium.
No, not Millennium. He was a teacher Mona Lady Secondary.
Okay.
So gatele mo Soul Buffaloes. Still I was doing Form 1. Form 1, Form 2. I got to perform Lebo Chick to Chick back then, Bo Willem Tetwa. I remember go Molapo Abojang, so Buffalo Zaket and Razor to Brenda Fassi. Bola Kidube, I've performed with them. But now I think Negasam Begeling one. Hey, never Kupa Kupisa, when I want to go to Hunters Dragger is Sukiri. I remember one day Rotanzo Zanamo stage in Najaji commits a big yellow or
But what was it about that road? That was where the hub of music was, because like you're saying, Molapo Abojang, Bonebo Odi, like what was up with that particular stretch of road, you know, or there are so many spots that ultimately the two seats of music
I think a lot of artists, when they came to Botswana, they used to use Pioneer Gate.
Okay.
So there was Molapo Abojang there. There was a place called
1,000 Days.
No, not 1,000 Days. House the place is on the left.
Okay.
House Kempil.
Okay.
Yagabo Makwengwe. The drama. Ke place Yagabo Makwengwe.
Okay.
So Maho Makwengwe used to host live bands there.
Okay.
Yeah. So obo hitlela ile gore le boatle gape. We used to perform gape go boatle back then.
Yeah.
You see. So gatele gone for when I got to Kagiso, ke ne ke bereka go nna ke tlola trata ne ke bona. Go dirikatara di alla go ke tlola trata ka tsama.
Passion, man. Yeah.
So the headmaster by then Mamotsepe. That was around 95.
Yeah.
Aba bona gore tlhoga ka ra bereke sentle ne gona le dipikara tsene go dirwa mozobozobo ka tsonetse aba ra go rekeng dikatara mo sekoleng motho a tle go ruta bana ba bang.
Yeah.
So bontsoro wethe.
Yeah.
But Ntsoro ke simolotsa le ene from Form 1.
Yeah.
He's been a keyboardist
all the time.
Yeah. Let's gospel ke ithatela shabareng sile UB40 ya ka wa tlala.
No doubt.
Yes. So
no, you can keep going on, because now I'm connecting. Okay, Ntsoro has always been a musician first, though.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's
Ntsoro
always
has
had a
been
beautiful
playing
voice.
keyboard like since primary. Primary. Re primary mo, re junior mo, re secondary mo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are always tight na le.
No doubt.
Even today we are like buddies.
Change.
But
But people will never understand that. That's one specially talented person, and also to see him in this journey. It's interesting to see, because you know what I mean? So to see him always like getting attacked a little bit because of, you know, his decisions no matter how right or wrong they are. It's always like interesting how this is just a dreamer, just like everyone else. He has dreams. He's just trying to fulfill his dreams. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so
yes.
it's always interesting to hear the stories of how guys come up.
Yes, ne problem on Sundays because ne le motho o ratang kereke thata. Ragwe ne le moruti go kerekeng. Le podicastana ene lo tshameka di keyboards yana tsara so o tla ba ndo ja re sa khone go practice so ne rena re tlatshana gone fo. So I formed this cool band ka ruta majita ba le baya ke ne ke tshameka ka dikatara tsotlhe mo ne ke na le maela gone ne le keyboard ela ba da was a drummer ne ke tshameka dikatara tsotlhe. So it came a time ya gore ke fetse form 5. You see, then I joined the BDF. The BDF le gone because I don't know gore ne ba ngutlaletse kae jang. Ke kile ka nna le problem ya di medical go tiditsebetsa ka di leswe ga di tswa kolo ya BDF and ko BDF once go te gona le something ka wena ba go khatha o tse a o join but na Land Rover ne antsiwa ka iswa bo ga borone private hospital ditsebe di a go tlatswa ke tsana kwa mokula ra no di ntse di leswe ka iswa when I came back there, I got the no sharp, I joined a BDF. And I just got training. I just got the offer like Baneke trainer lebon. You understand? Redule co training retail I look BDF band in concert style. Simul.
Okay.
Then I was told what's a man.
So never recruit because the way I picture BDF band back in the day, it had all of the best musicians because never poacher. I think so. No, I don't know how I ended up there. So and then they got into the concert style ones. And that's how you guys got into it.
No, isimolotse go tlhela ele di phala di kopane le bo BDF band like you know there's A group, there's B group, there's C group. A group e mo Gaborone, B group e ko Francistown, C group e ko Thebephatso. So rona ge be go tla go formiwa ke motho ne ke le tshwenyo thata ke baraka go twanya mo tirong ko BDF so ne ra ke twanyana ke twanyetsa ko sekgweng go ditlareng dikatara so the lieutenant colonel onele commanding officer by then so talent in me then abanza ampapisa lene ke nna gateking o ileng go rona nthoma
understudy ya gago yana
wa tlhaloganya gore ke raya so
ra ka stare sa go sesoleng
ke nna Batman
you know that word hey majita ba le rato mo
so I got to realize that he saw something saying gore is different in me by taking me ampapisa lene ke nna Batman ya gagwe I had to do piano tuning and I think I'm the only piano tuner in Botswana.
I don't know a single piano tuner. Funny enough, I was watching something on YouTube the other day. And I just realized what I never met one.
But I'm here.
No, so that's really the work. Like you know the instruments that deep.
Yes, I had to learn more about piano. Then I did the piano tuning course. Irla bona gore e kare ke advance. Aba tlogara no but sound engineering le no tshwantswele ke kantele sound engineering are marimba ai ba bangwe ba ngwe ga bara no why ene dilo tso tlwa so ka ska ka khona go askweleng sa go manufacture marimba ko Zimbabwe yano then he called Lista Boleseng Lista. Here is the man. Can you form a band? Come on. Lista re form a BDF band, D group. Now. And that band nerasa kono go namarana because Tautona Mogae by then narata bente le Major General Fisher. Neba Lieutenant General Fisher never ratabente le each and every weekend we were busy like ke yone irile gore ke hele ke tlogela BDF ke bona gore from January to December I'm always engaged. I can't do anything for myself.
Life.
You understand? So I became clever. I invested a lot. I kesampekele ko BDF into music. I bought equipment kareka kombinyana kare trakanyana I go tswa be kere ba so bye. ke aga ke tsamaile aga tiriana gape ne ke bona gore ke kgona go dira madi a mantsi kontle than waiting for a salary, you know.
Yeah.
So it started like that. When I got out, ke be ke bona gore mme a se ne ke sa ka ntsa tsa traka ke simolla ke rekisa merogo ditamati ke tsa kolo batse kwana ga re weekend di katara mo gara be ke merogo khantele ke bula a business ko Muchudi, Jazz Brew. I think you know
Jazz Brew.
Yeah, Jazz Brew is my company. Ke fitletse mo diatleng tsa ga re the late Soska Tumbela. So I nela ka hela ile gore ya no ke simola go rana Jazz Brew ka bula Jazz Brew ko Muchudi, ka bula Jazz Brew ko Ramotswa, ka bula Jazz Brew ko Lobatse, ka boa ka go ibula gape ko Muchudi. So ke bereka gona ke invite di artist yalo, because music on no ka skotso mo madi.
Definitely.
But by then ga ke ibula, I was disappointed gape ke ka it was the era ya the president Ian Khama. I was frustrated ka melao ya industry because ke yone ha o ka ra tlhoko e bolaileng our music industry.
I want to get into that before because I want you to explain to people how lucrative was music mo Botswana. Wa bona re no gona go bula establishment e le gore ga gona khanya gore go tswalwa ka 12 kana go tswalwa ka 2. Were you making a good living out of this thing?
I was making a good living, Morena, because by those days, no itlala le gore ga ke emerela ha ke a gantsi ke a go dira show. Ke khona go tswa go gantsi ke tla ke dirile 30,000 but go tsena 20 pula he. Wa tlhaloganya gore
I remember tama ke rukilang khoga mo ke tetse mo ke bona gore go irwa madi a ga re tla re le teng mo tropo mo go dira mo tla bonyaneng batho ba tsena ba le bo 100 hey la motho ka ha go tsa holo. I think re le go khakala go tenyana teng kwa basadi ba botsogo ba rekisang botsogo ba duela ene gore ba nne le store batho ba rekisang bojalo ba duela ene gore ba nne le store mo teng ga trata ya gate ya holo.
Yes.
Ke bone tshama a le ko gating go meet and greet iseng ya check ya gore wa signature o go dumedisa ha o ntse o duela ya wa go mona mo stage.
Yes. That
was business.
Yeah, ka 20 pula hela ba.
Ka 20 pula.
Yes. You could make about 50K. Out of 20 pula. Gone ko khalagadi kwana ko botswapong and all that stuff like. We were making money by then. But nako ga di tla go khathiwa yano. Go te no. Go helwa ka 12. That's when we saw the South African musicians penetrating our market. So Botswana got addicted to the South African market by those times. Kenako ya traditional music. Why is our traditional music dominated by in those times? So that's when it dropped. Then Botswana resorted to go to entertainment where? Go South Africa. And Khoneana, go thata gore re ba ntshe ha ba leng teng re ba re hanu ba gaetso we are doing something saying gore it's out of this world, because what we have in our country right now, I tell you, we can even compete internationally.
Definitely.
But go sampe go le thata go penetrate Botswana. That's why they are still focusing more music in West South Africa, because they are already addicted to that. Remember, we spent almost 10 years. Resena a proper entertainment, go sena melao e leng gore ya regulator ke fila gore ra gatelwa. And those are the things saying gore, you know, when I started fighting for Bomu, ke sampe ke le member ra hela ke dilo tsene ke khona go di bona gore but no
ke gone mo go dirileng activist gone go, because at the time I think ne re sa utlwe a lot of you talking. It was mostly like I say, oh, bona mo di bannereng hela we tirela Spanish sa gagwe o promote the show.
Yes.
Yone decision ya gore o simolle go nna activist o lwela di right tsa boopedi e dirilwe ke gone the changing of the hours and all of that. And then that's how you joined into Bomu.
That's how I joined into Bomu. That's how I got to participate and learn more about Bomu.
Yes, sir.
Le ga ba kile ba nkoba for 5 years.
I think this is where then because we don't have a lot of time with you as well, because that you're a busy brother. But I think this is when we get into the Bomu. We don't bona Bomu from the outside. Ontsu kubua ya no tsa gore ke mokgatlo o ka direla di artist eng.
Ga ke le kontle ke ntse ke le mo teng gape ne ke bona gore this organization has a potential of improving our music industry.
Yes, sir.
Because ki ithutile ka yone gore ke yone the mouthpiece
ya
di artist mo Botswana. So I got to learn a lot, but felt gore batho ba bangwe ba tsena mo teng is just about maemo le poko hela, they are not acting onto se constitution e reng ba se dire. You see, that's why I was always ke nna ke le mo melong ke nna ke puthile batho ke re ke ba ruta ka bomu yalo a tlhaloganya, but batho ba bangwe ba feel gore ai ona tota I was not interested mo maemong. Ha ja campaigner go tsana ha ke leng teng today ke batho ne ba re wena ke wena re go romanyano because you've been fighting re batla go bona gore o tla dira eng.
Yes, sir.
You see,
and all of these, I mean, you're not advocating for increasing music airplay ke tsone dilo tse le gore di bonanda tema ya gago, and also the roadshow tsone tsa capacity building le gone go ruta the artists across Botswana about, you know, their rights and all of that stuff with quality control, because o ka itlela go feel go te nkare ke bulela ditso hela mo industry, you know what I mean? The other day, and this is not to disrespect anyone, you know, how can we handle quality control mo Botswana gore ska nna nkare king ki welfare gore nkare ki dio tsa go zamela batho gore ga ona spani so ka tula ibile o tla playlistiwa go sa check gore dio tsa gago are not of a certain standard? Is that not also part of what Bomu should be trying to do so that it filters professionals and amateurs?
o itse gore re ha re leng tenyana ke ne ke sampe ke le mo planning ya gore Bomu gongwe, because it has 15 district chapters all over the country. Re batla gore go nne le di studio mo di chaptereng tse di ka thusang di artist yalo ya ba sena go recorda ko ba recordang teng by a go studio sa rona to check if the mixes are okay before they can be sent to Gaborone to by longer they know mastering to master them well. You see, so unfortunately we like disturb distabile, but I think very soon I'll be back in office like in a week or 2 weeks time. So re lebeletse ya lo gore ne re buisantse le ministry my seke ya lo gore program ile ya bone ne ba tsere bo fondo fire bo zenzele batho ba le bantsinyana gore ba ye go skoleng go limkonkwing ba go ithuta ka go mona. You are part of that. It's gore ba bang ba si
no, I had to come and make a living. But yeah, no, I remember that one.
Yes, ne re buisantse le bone gore gongwe the next batch ra identify batho go dikgaolontsong tsa rona gore ba tla go ithuta sound engineering wa tshwara because Limkonkwing ne ke itse gore mostly concentrate le thata about the studio recording, not the live recording, you understand? Go mo ke gone mo ne go ka thusa the industry gore gole, but hela ka o bua ska go recordiwa only a few, I would say maybe 60 to 70% mo Botswana. We tell a lot of music wa bona ga o reetsa wa utlwa gore this is quality. But ba bangwe because gona le bo YouTube malatsing somebody studies mo YouTube gore go recordiwa yang for a week ibile o setsa ipitsa producer, you understand? That's the problem that we have, but people they ba lebala gore this is business. You know, people have to know that when you get into this industry, it's all about business. Hase industry e leng gore o tlo go batla go bona asa bo banyana mponeng kana janjan, you understand? But batho ba le bantsi gona na mo industry ba sampe ba le fo, they don't invest into talent ba itemogang bana le yone, ba batla di shortcut, but di shortcut di hella di ba busetsa ko morago e ba frustrated ba roga di artist tse leng gore di tsweletse gone yana ba bua di khantsa bo gore ba sabotajiwa, ba simolla go roga Bomu, ba simolla go roga Cosbots, ba simolla go roga minister wa di arts kwana because of that frustration. Motho a sa itebelle gore mme ke rile eng se ke se likileng gore kebe ke ka khona go fitlhela at the top. You see, this industry doesn't have shortcuts.
Yeah, no, you gotta know what you're doing. You know what I mean? You gotta set these lights up. You gotta check you gotta work.
You have to learn a lot of things.
I want to move fast track a little bit to the elephant in the room, which is always the Botswana Music Union awards. In Leone, Kanyam Rututa, you know, ever since they came through, you know, there was always but you know, they've become in Nankarkione the only thing that Bomu does. What would you say to people? Baba Filangore, Bomu only does that. What show?
The problem, the Bomu Music Awards, it's one of the events, they are national.
Yeah.
And people they concentrate more on.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
There are a lot of programs like Unzu Ubua Ska.
Yeah.
Rentse redira di mental health workshop because ne re bona gore tota maloko a rona a amegile re patagane le ba cosbots yalo mme dintsi di tsweletse di sampe di tlo go tswela di workshop bots re ntse re tabogile le big dog production le DBS to identify talent e leng gore ga bana bokgoni yalo ba go ka itshupa mo pele ga setšhaba ga bana ditsompelo tsa go ka ikisa ko pele. Some of these artists tse e leng gore re setse re di bone gone ko dikgaolong ko, some are in South Africa ba bereka le bo DJ ga ke mango popular Maporisa, DJ Maporisa. Baba, where they are working with other artists there.
No, there is a couple of artists Baba Dulim from those roadshows. I think a lot of people want to quickly dismiss roadshow, but I saw some really, really good things happening there with the artists. There's a couple of artists are doing that thing now. There's a better understanding because it doesn't happen overnight, like you say.
Yes.
Implement the but I'm seeing change, you know. Why was there beef about this thing? How was Big Dog Productions identified? Because, you know, Botswana were quick to say, you know, there's other artists in Botswana who understand the Botswana market way better than, let's say, a DJ Fresh.
I got to have a problem with Botswana when it comes to these kind of things.
Yes, sir.
You know, it happened. We had a meeting as Bomu with DJ Fresh. DJ Fresh had an idea. It's his IP.
Yeah.
You know, so we went to the Ministry of Youth by then to say, "Kana re plana go dira selo se sentseng jana." To identify talent and all the stuff like on board. You know, you talk to the minister will talk to the PS will take his time to revert to you. You understand? So but this thing because even like at the capacity building workshops whereby we can teach the artistic, the music business, marketing and everything it's in
the business.
It's in the business. We were supposed to start them the Cosbots. Propose that to Cosbots very soon. Then the idea, DJ Fresh, we sold it to DBS. DBS, they saw an opportunity. You see, so they took it. By then, they focus it more RB2. Then that's how it came about. It's not gore kana rona re tla be re nna hela go malapeng re nnana ga re bona motho gote ke ole o netswe sennane ga re itse gore motho la o itsise proposal kana wa identify ile ka payang re simolla go roga government kana re roga ba ile gore ba monetse re sa itse gore go tlile yang gore that person abalefo DJ Fresh ke na itletseng ka the concept atla e rekisa ya hela ya mogelwa ile rona re leng Bomu re supportang le ba Botswana Entertainment Promoters Association beba ra idumetswe ka gore we were part of it ne se gore o itirela ko alenosi.
Okay, like you were saying, you've proposed, because I have to play devil's advocate here. You guys have proposed a lot to these ministries and all of these things. Was DJ Fresh the difference? Why there was a change in this? Was it because what was different about his proposal that was different from the ones that you guys had been proposing before?
I don't think there was any difference, but kikopa own dates.
No, you already because
we went to the Ministry of Youth.
Yes, sir.
By then, and they fall under really arts.
Yes, sir.
They took their time.
Hey, that's what I'm saying, Fresh. Why were they taking that time? And it looked like in this moment it was easier for them to give a yes. And looking also at the budget, they don't say yes to a lot of this shit. Like stuff like this, they don't say a yes to a lot of the time. I'm trying to figure out what can we learn from how Fresh did it so that we can probably do it. Because it's not like we don't want to do it for the artists, but to collaborate with Bomu, Bepa, and do something like that. I'm just trying to figure out why it was different in this scenario here. How I know who are Ghanaians. I'm not saying you are in their brains.
Yes.
But what was different?
I think the difference is that now we went to the other ministry.
Okay.
Remember, DBS falls under the Ministry of State
Presidential Affairs. Yes,
so but they saw an opportunity when the idea came.
Okay. Presidential Affairs.
Presidential Affairs.
Yeah.
Then later on, the Ministry of Youth wanted to jump on board.
Yeah, because what my problem is with this stuff, Prayak, is that it shouldn't be this hard.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't be this complicated, and it shouldn't feel like artists from Botswana don't think that we can help our fellow men. It just looked like we were incompetent, like the people who are here are incompetent until Big Homie comes from South Africa to come and save us all.
No, sometimes we are frustrated by the officers themselves.
Yeah.
Because and also the proposal industry the ministry somehow somewhere to improve the but you understand, you come back to the office needs a proposal. They will tell you, hey, PSI because we thing away badile but improve this is a great idea. So that but it's like officers they're in competition with us.
They are groupies.
Hey, you understand? And if one gets to hate you, you know what the whole ministry. You are gone, my man. Yeah.
I don't like it. It frustrates a lot of young people. There's a lot of people who fall into depression in this music industry and in our space. It's already what about the age? You're not serious, Hey, you're not serious about your craft. But people are putting in work, but people are ignoring them. And then it only happens when they see someone who they haven't seen in a long time or who they're a fan of. And this is not disrespect. Big Homie, which is why I also say there's some good things that came out of the DBS roadshows. We might not see today, but in the future, what he did for all of those kids with all of those workshops, what you guys were able to do. No, this is not just about getting in the studio and just singing and then just hoping. You have to work. But I'm also disappointed in us where we don't see potential in and around us. And it
but there's so much potential. There's so much potential in our industry, Ska.
I want to talk about the awards. Okay, the annual awards started since 2011. Didn't see the change. Who truly runs the awards on a day-to-day basis?
Okay, Bomu has been running the awards for the past years. But when I got into office, we had some discussions with my committee. Hey, you know what? The awards it's already improved. I think let's engage somebody. O ka tla re rana di awards ene a account mo go rona. You understand?
Yes, sir.
And then we put up a expression of interest for people who are interested. Ronak officing, I came up with this model. If you know where you can get money from, then you can engage with us. We have a memorandum of understanding or memorandum of agreement that, okay, waro bone madiko UNICEF o ka go tsela bomu madiko UNICEF. Then, what you are going to do, you are going to give Bomu only 20% administration fee. Then the rest, operator. Project kaone, but you account to us so that tomorrow we get to back you up if there's something, you see. Definitely. So haritsana mo officing re dirile one expression of interest yalo ga hela go submit a total music group gore ka re dira di awards raro. No, let's try it. Ha re samberle ho ke a ile gore ba tsosa modumo di artist gape ga ba ya ko Facebook page ya rona go bona gore re rile expression of interest ba getso for anybody o ka tlang go re fetolela di awards jalo a di dira ka semo se leng gore you know e ka nna sa mahatshe. You understand? Yes, that's why you see this awards irile di simolla dile under tsamaiso yami. Obo bona interest was gore every nominee akre at least 5,000 pula, then the winner 10,000 pula. Yes, but because of the limitations sponsorship ebe risimolla yanong re bona gore me 2.5 can motivate. Yeah. Then 5,000 motho o ka khona gore a itirele sengwe ka ene. And we tlalela gore di artists tse dingwe bo ska o nominate wa for o itswela go ka 20,000 jalo, you see. Yes, and these are the first awards go nna yalo since ke tsana mo officing, because ne ke dumela gore di award ga ka ke na wa di hela motho ba sa le bogui ka sepe. I have to make sure that we re industry ya rona so that people get to appreciate let's on the awards tsa rona.
I'm appreciative of the awards. Yes. Because as motho selling our music in Botswana for close to 20 years, these things are developments. You know, you know, there might be people who are angry about them, but I feel, you know, how you guys have been able to the production itself, the nominee, people might think, okay, what 2.5 has guys, you guys don't know. Artists don't have a lot going on. So 2,500 goes a long way.
They don't know that with that 2.5, each and every year we get to spend close to about 750,000 to 800,000.
Yes, sir.
2.5 le madia di winner.
Definitely.
Yes.
Is it profitable? Do you break even? Are you able to do the inner workings?
Yes.
Total.
No, it's profitable.
Yes, sir.
It's profitable because we get administration fees. After that, the profit is badi dirile. After the event.
Facebook, one of the artists being Tabang Kharogwe, around the unions, passive as far as the awards are concerned, and Abu about King, you know, it's the awards are a distraction from the real problems that are in the union. As one of the well-known artists who are out there being an activist, he's gone to Boko's as well. How did you guys address these issues, or do you even address them?
No, we address them. The problem when you are outside, you wouldn't even know kahare sokolanka ting.
Yes, sir.
Go buelela yone industry batho ba re kopanang le bone mo di officing ba re itseng gore ba maleba gore re ka negotiate le bone gore re tlhabolle industry ka tsela entseng ya they are taking their time.
Yes, sir.
Like I've been telling you.
Yes, sir.
You are going to meet with people by Langore. They don't have any interest in the music industry.
Yes, sir.
And it takes time for things to change. So I believe that some artists, they are so impatient, but we are trying with everything to make sure that we advocate for the music industry.
Yes, sir.
We get to meet a lot of people. I remember gore arts council gore emelle ke nna ke emeletseng ko phalape kwa ke bolella tautona mokgweetsi masisi ke morakere tautona ke utlwa o bua ka arts council gore e teng kae na re itse go di office tsa batho ba o dileng teng ga re itse gore a gona le bode within 2 weeks ke go setse go beiwa board irile within 3 months ke a ile gore ba bereki ba setse ba le go officing ba theogela arts council e tshela
lona arts council gona anonyana ke ra e bona. Okay, you've been under suspension, but how we bona into a roll out did you tsa are they aligned with some of the things in already talk rona ba no gore te mo di atseng?
I don't think they're aligned. I don't think so because they're not engaging with us. They're just doing their office work. You know, the industry ya rona ga depend thata mo dibukeng. E depend thata mo goeng mo talenting le strata go re sitse go le kae but ga ba decide go nna go di officing ko ba sa engage le rona ba sa engage le di organizations tse ileng gore di ke tsone tse di mo grounding. They are going to end up failing because we see them failing as from now ya ka ba setse ba re fila gore ba paletswe ke just a simple project e simolotsweng ke Botswana Musicians Union ileng the competitions they have changed them to I
think I saw a Facebook post about them.
Yes.
What's in the presidential awards can nearly defense
the presidential awards and this simulation organization e go Botswana Musicians Union kana kwa ya re khama then MySec hijacked them from Bomu.
Na gore ne ke na le smoko le tsone gore ne di setse di dirisiwa as a political tool ya no wa bona ke la you know ya no how wanna di change ya no gore ne di ntshiwa from president because I think he was a major patron a pushetsa gona gore at least this sengane se netting for the winner. But like I was starting to feel gore it's defeating the purpose because the same people who shut down the operating hours are the ones who are giving you 10,000 pula. Wow, it's like 10 grand all year. Game. So we were in bed with the same person who's effing us.
Yeah, but this man really killed our industry.
Yeah, because it wasn't fair at all. But at the same time, he wanted the popularity. The whole year I'll be. But I want to get into, because like I said, we should let you go very, very soon. You have your appointment. Let's talk about your suspension. You had led the union for about 4 years, and there's claims that the love relationship between you and Total Music Group became a problem. Tell us why, and how did you end up getting suspended from the Botswana Musicians Union?
Okay, it started last year. Last year May, I started writing to Total Music Group. Ke batla go tlhaloganya dilo ka bontsi. But ne ke sa tse ditshwetso tse ke le notsi ne ke di tsale committee ya me ya kere. Re batla accountability yalo. Then I was told gore Mr. Sabelo will brief my second in command, the Vice President Finance, concerning accountability dilo, because how e teletse pele nako tse dingwe ga o ka kwa batla go iphitlhela o le mo madubadubeng a eleng gore yaanong o seka dilo tse o sa di itseng. I account to the general membership of Botswana Musicians Union, yes, through the AGM. Ha re tsana go AGM on ntata ba re ga dika ba batla accountability. So madi a bone ga ra dirisa re tshwantse re itse gore ra dirisa ka tsela e ntseng ya. So I waited for so long. Then January I got to meet with my committee and say, hey, kana kanye ba getso ga nje se di wela a go re lekeng go bua le because re ntse re bua verbally hela go sena mekwalo e this time tla re dire mekwa
accountability.
So we wrote to Total Music Group to demand accountability. Then he responded the way he responded.
What did he say?
No, he
no,
kanyate like utla ne ke sa batle go ibua because e sampele mo tafoleng wa tlhaloganya gore ke ra.
Whatever you can give us at least so that we understand where we are.
He responded in a way that ke ne ke feel gore he's attacking us as the committee. Then it took some time thinking that maybe he will revert back to his wits and try to write a proper accounting letter to us. But
he didn't account, he just told you guys off.
Yes.
Jesus.
You see, so I had to write to DBS to say, hey, Kekopa, le emiseng the contract ya homona e re nang le one le lona ka go suspend the payments jalo a tlhaloganya irile after malatsinyana ke sena o bolela committee gore kana I ended up taking that letter to DBS to stop the payments. Hey, na maitsi bo a ke tsena ka Jimmy ka hana ke utlwa di artist di nteletsa tauto na o suspendilwe ka re ke suspendiwa ke man, nobody has the powers to suspend me.
Yeah.
So these guys, what they did, because there is whereby this guy wrote, I've been taking care of the committee. Banking somebody emailing, can you delegate? Like you will find that the secretary is responsible for the email, vice president finance responsible for it. So ke sanne le gope ko ke e ramba to ke barakere kana ke suspendilwe unconstitutionally yaanong ke simolla ke araba to the members le bone ka kwa yaanong ba simolla go toitoya gore tautona ka suspendiwa. I had to answer to them gore no kana ke suspendetswe mabaka ale so ke banela information the chairpersons tsa the district chapter gore banele information gore go diragala. You understand? That's how I got to get suspended.
Jesus Christ. All right, so where are we now? Like, have you met with some of your committee members? Because the way they're saying it, you asked to excuse yourself and then they made that decision. No. Was it like that? Because that's the reports that were running around.
There was a meeting, yes. And, you know, when people... tota ibile ga ke tswa ke sena go ba bolela ka mokwalo ke be ke nna maikelo le gore ke a go DBS go checka gore a bagolo ba o bone wa tlhaloga so bone ba sala ba kana constitution is clear. I'm the presiding officer in all the meetings of Botswana Musicians Union. So when I walk out, that means meeting go edile ka wa tlhaloga one ba sala ba o tshwere ne lo a bone ku nese o ile ngoro formal because ha ke sa go handela ke gore a kere ska sala o ntshwareletsela it's gore meeting go edile ka one according to the law. You understand?
Okay, before I let you out of this one though, who took what? What do you think guys were getting at the committee? I
don't know. The propaganda hey, I need ke batla bo 500,000 te mo go sabelo kantele bo ratie se tlhako ba kwala go bo Facebook hey o batla 1.5 million go go sabelo tla mona kae go simolla di propaganda yana wa tlhaloganya gore
Rasina o ratie
nya Rasina o tswa go di bua ko morago before go mona wa tlhaloganya gore kraya so go na le propaganda yone e be kere ha ena go ntsikinya. I stand by my words and I stand by my decision. That's why even Kanyateng o bone the minister of state president Ramohas ile ga discussiwa ka yone ko parliament. You understand? Ile a tsena le ko parlamenteng na ebile ke le letswa go te kanyalo na tsene kwana kai lebella parliament ki tlala ile on. You understand?
Ba re go rileng le gore
no go buiwa ka tso yone khanya ya madi a contract ya rona. You understand?
Yes sir.
So rana gone ho morana but I can tell you since they suspend me every project has stopped. They haven't done anything. There's nothing. There's no Bomu right now. Because interested. It wasn't about kahan ne ke pusha ka teng ke tshwenya bo cosmos ke tshwenya go di ministry jalo ke kokota mo di khorontsha tsa di office to say ba ga tsuri thuseng wa tlhaloganya gore kra ga go na project e kileng ya diragala ya tswela since I got out of office le bona o ka ba botsa.
No, ke tlo go lega gore ke batsisa ba bang go nano nyana. So DCEC e teng gone Or has this matter been officially reported? Or
the reason why I had to take that drastic decision is because I was once called because of this contract. Ki DCEC. Me alone. Because
as the presiding officer,
as the accounting officer of Botswana Musicians Union,
Jesus,
the contract on behalf of the organization. I was called by the DCEC to come and answer. You see, so some have went to report this matter because. They know. I don't know whether the DCEC is somebody more. Yes.
So,
but now I was once called DCEC.
Are we gonna have awards this year?
Kahana kwa etsa maileng ka teng. Ga go ka diragala gore ke boele ko officing. We are not going to have them. My plan is to have them maybe next year, March.
Yes, sir.
Because most of the time we prepare for the awards like February. We start preparing for them, registering artists kabo April yalo di jajele on di nalana kwa ya go reetsa music but harleng teng gone an ra ga ga ngwaga ga ile go ra di dira e tla be ile gore mongwe wa tla go casha ela yana wa tlhaloganya gore ke raya.
I hear you. How do you sort of sometimes why I worry about like committees like Bomu where some of the people are not even musicians. You know the pain of tuning a keyboard, dog.
Yes, I know the pain of being on stage, singing for people. Ke robala mo koloing. Yeah, ke lo go di show ke robala mo koloing morena. Ba bereki ba merita di flopa ba bereki ba ja di lofo.
And then when it comes to now administration, for some reason, we get people who've never suffered the same things that we have suffered as musicians, which brings me to the question, shouldn't there be another criteria for picking people who get into these committees and administration, art-based things like born music? Because, like you're saying, these paper pushers go to office saying, they don't know that pain. You know what I mean? So, is there a plan? Or at least keep us for artists.
Rona di artistic rona re jala setsang. I remember ngile ka gadikiwa thata agare la re sendela ska ke tsala me o tla ba utlwa go buiwa something negative about me go di WhatsApp group ntse ke songo go tsone kwana. You'll be sending utlwa hela motho a re ga re ka ke raetelwa ke artist. You understand? Artist e bua gore ga re ka ke raetelwa ke artist. But the doctor ra di etelwa ke di doctor.
Yeah.
Bo mechanic ba etelwa ke bo mechanic ba etelwa ke di musician.
Yeah.
You understand? Ebe artist ela itla gore ha re ka ke raetelwa ke artist. Ke rona re jala setsang ka bo rona but office ya rona e tshwantse gore e etelwe ke batho ba ileng gore they know the pain. They are musicians. They know segolo ga o sa pagame stage, know something about the music business. Have passion about the music industry.
Yes, sir.
You understand? Rather than gore go tsewa le drama kwa e go tla go tele go etella Bomu. No, ha ena go bereka e. You understand?
No, I feel you completely. So when we move forward, in closing, are you getting back into the office? And are the elections coming up anytime soon? How
I want to get back to the office because I feel gore ga ke se ke wetse se ne ke batla go se gore re sa achieve. Ga ke se ke wetse ha ileng gore ke batla gore ke bone industry le ha teng. And I believe that I have that potential to take the music industry to the next level. You understand? Like Rumbiego, I went out to South Africa. There are pending issues saying, I've made some deals. The drafts it's a memorandum of understanding for cultural exchanges with Free State, Bako Bloemfontein, with Lesotho, with Eastern Cape. Re bereke go isa di artists tsa rona ka ko ba tlisetsa bone ka kwano ba record ba collaborate kana mo botswana re kana go collaborate mo go mas ska bonela popile ha ke tla go go ene o tla ba mpolelela gore iketsa pele bua le manager wa me ska era o ntsantile tsano di bua le manager aga
me kana that's our downfall. Everyone always wonders why we're able to keep moving as a unit here. These guys are good at what they do. I'm good at what I do. I don't go panin riren so selo one re tla popa go pele kwa jantse
bo Master KG ba penetrate le ka di collaboration ba ntse ba le big ga ba isko ba nyatse bongwazi ba rangwazi wa Botswana he took him mamora tla tsana ka
KSB ba gona no nyana
bo ga tike man wa Hurricane
gona la Hurricane and the cross collaboration I think go re bolim crazy motho ta ba le go le buleng engwe and then Master KG wa bona gore okay ke na le ntwana ka KSB kyo ha ba ga ira dipina mogo. That cross collaboration will take us very, very far. And a lot of artists gonna know nyana. Kore malaiti nyana o se malaiti nyana ya. Malaiti. Bata ba complain go nna late gona no nyana. E lo blow ya no isimola gowa. E be lo gona simola go batla go checka majita ya no. Mara ha dio tsa go ne dintsi di pop. Kana that's when everyone has their eyes on you. That's the time to work with everyone. So these
are most of the things go focus on.
Yes, sir.
Who export a talent.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to focus on to exporting talent if I get the opportunity to get back to office. Who the chair say kwam tate kwana. What's a you meraba so ba bangwe ba tsoga ba nna ba re kana ga tga bua wa re kuba. I can't do that. I can't do that. No, you wait for the members to say no. Oh,
and then the 90% local music quota. The kanyo in a hell like I no na lo gore go advocate gore rocketse music spin mo netlaneng mo local radio stations including the private ones.
RB2 le RB1 ne ba le ka thata di royalty ka bontsi tsone o bona go ntse go cashiwa ma 2000 ma 3000 ma 100,000 ke ene le RB2 le RB1
smoko sa le RB1 ke yone quality control gona le batho ba ene gore ya ba game kana motho tla be le ngwana ga mmasemamang wa mo itse kong dilo one hala dipina tsa teng and these artists don't perform anywhere. They don't put in as much as other artists put in.
Wena o botoka be tla go letsa nna nge ke letswa ka
kana go no mong gore ke be feel gore a ke gone khanyona kilo ya gore okay fresh o tlo ga ina kana thata at least a tsema dia go ko merogong ya gagwe a player ke bana ba Batswana and o letswang every 5 minutes. Thinking as much money into the craft as much as, let's say, a V or even a one take or whoever. So I think harako pele le rena re tla le ka hare le kanteng gore re tlo go tsenya di suggestions tsa tembraka jiga
ke ka kopa di artist ya la mo Botswana gore Bomu as organization ya gaope wa tlhaloganya gore ke rang ke each and every artist who can join to be a member. So baska ba na afraid to join Bomu baska ba criticize ba le kontle utlwa gore ka rene ka kubiwa for 5 years ke boetse mo Bomu ka 2015 ke sale ke kubiwa ka 2011 or so wa tlhaloganya ke busiwa ke repeto pemperetle andara ai ne ke kubile le vomit le ndako moana ga go tere di rascal di kebekwa
musubo yone ke
musubo ke Francis Town ka ha ba ibitsang ka teng
because bona ba pusheditswe ka thoko bana ba modimo ga gona radio station kwa and rona kwa no re nna re letswa hela o tswa mo blockade o tsena mo mass media building
mass media yes no kana dilo tsena like government na bua le Ramasisi a bua kana kwa gore will be working le Botswana Musicians Union. So if there's another organization e batlang go tla go bereka ka Botswana Musicians Union, that means it has a problem then. You understand? Gape Botswana Musicians Union is as it's I can tell you musubo ba kile ba mpitsa ba re ke tla go nna tauto na bona. Ha ke sampe ke kubile ko Bomu. Then ke ba ra gretisa dipampiri ke bona gore go iragalang. A ba pala ka dipampiri ka re ke a go lwantsha Bomu gape. Wa tlhaloganya ke boela ko Bomu. Indeed ka hela ke boetse mo Bomu wa tlhaloganya gore ke rang go tla go baakanya dilo so le rona ga le gore go na le dilo tse re sa di direng sentle ska le tshwantse le tsene mo teng re accounted to you as members, you understand? If you are interested in any position sa re ke nna ne ke tshabala ntla but ke letse ke ra no nna ka tsena wa tlhaloganya gore ke rang emela maemo a o itekelese go a tlhaloganya gore ke lona le ka godisang industry ka buitsana pe bwa lona ga re itse go le gontsi so se itseng ka tswa ke sa se itse but I have to get ideas from you or when out tsene mo officing o tla go godisa the organization re ska ra go are le konta re go are le konta gona mosola because kantele o go a hela go ga re bidua go te motho go lo tsise modumo ra re mo itse ga te ke artist ke ntse ke itse gore artist ke ra ke se ke bone motho mo stage
ona le pinele one
ona le pinele one a sana re seka 98 wa tlhaloga
no I feel you so much. Thank you so much for being here Brayaka, and I look forward to part 2 re ntse ra go pele tota di conversations that thing ya be le gona go rutla the state of what's going on in the Botswana entertainment space, and who better to ask than the people who are leading it from the front and are fighting wars, you know, hey bana bangwe ba di doja ma cheki a go le register mo Bomu go tlhokwa lona le na le di idea
ba ska ba yolwa sekete ba le kwa ba tsena ba tle go re lwantsha ba le moteng
le tenka AI ya lona re tlo go lwantshanya da idea because we can all benefit from this. Re tsenge di medical aid re tsenyeng re khwemollo wa bona ke ra definitely Mr. Pimelo Freshless Lesokwane. Thank you so much, Brian.
Thank you so much, my brother.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our show. We'll see you next week, Wednesday, right here on the PODICAST. Remember, like and subscribe to the local Corner Multimedia YouTube page. And we will see you right here at Molapo Crossing Theatre next week. I'm out. Peace.
Of different identities. Podcast with PSCAR.